Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hello. I am Gandair of the gaming clan, Vato clan. We got a few last-minute plugs to get out of the way before we go into this Game 3 of the finals of the LoLPro Dominion Showdown. I want to say a special thank you to LoLPro, Leaguepedia, Reign of Gaming, and Curse for helping to put this event together. This has been a very amazing two-day tournament. There have been a lot of great Dominion games, a lot of good Dominion players, and a lot of action. It has been very fun to commentate this, and I'm very glad you guys brought me on board. I want to say extra special shout-outs to a couple of people. Riot Rival, Vulcan's Gnome Saiyan, Vesh, Still Rampant, Riot Danny, Scarizard, and Manwolf Axe Boss. Also, Dominate Dominion's owner, the Feedski, is a pretty cool guy. And once again, happy birthday to Asil, the guy who helped put all of this stuff together. It's his birthday today, and that's really cool. And co-commentating with me is
Azaraki Dragon. And I hope it's been a lot of fun for you guys, because it's been a lot of fun for me. But I'm actually going to say goodbye to you, and I hope that I was casting well enough for you guys. I know that you are a very nice community over here, over at the Dominion side of things. Normally I'm a Summoner's Rift caster, and you can find me at Azaraki Dragon, but we have a special surprise for you guys. Casting the last game of the night is going to be, you know him, you love him, FourCourtJester. He's coming back, and I have to say, this is going to be a great way to end out the night.
Twisting my arm a little bit, huh?
FourCourt!
Yep, I'm back. Mr. Gandair, it has been a while, sir, but it is good to see you. And Azaraki, I mean, don't sell yourself short, man. I've been listening to you all weekend.
Yeah, this has been a great cast. Azaraki, I was really glad to be able to work with you. FourCourt, this is really cool. Glad to have you back for one more game of this tournament, to be able to commentate this. For those of you guys that don't know, FourCourtJester was the first person to live commentate a Dominion event. He commentated the Devastation LAN 2011 back in October of 2011. It was the only Dominion LAN that there's ever been. He was the first person to ever cast this game mode, so it's very exciting to have him on for this Game 3 of the finals.
Oh man, you're bringing up ancient history, but the game has changed a lot since then, and the last time we did a Dominate Dominion, I think it was sometime last year, in PEX, or Pay Evelynn Child Support, they were on, what, 2 or 3 win streak, and here we are, over a year later, still the reigning dominant champions with a 90% win rate. Obviously, you guys haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, I remember when Pay Evelynn Child Support used to lose to blind pick Banditos all the time. It's a little bit of a different environment now. Azaraki, you have any other plugs or anything you want to get out before we transition to this last game?
Nope, that's about it. Thank you all for having me. It was a lot of fun casting these games.
Hey, thank you for coming out and helping put on the show.
That's no problem.
Alright, and if you like me and my gaming media, you can follow me on Twitter, at VatoClan is my gaming clan's Twitter, and youtube.com/VatoClan also. And FourCourtJester, for people who aren't familiar with you, where can people find you on the internet?
They just type in my name and it comes up. It's all me. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. But we got a game, Mr. Gandair. Game number 3, PEX up against Clueless. I gotta say, Mad Supportal, Z-Mike, he's the guy that taught me how to do tanky CDR Sona, and clearly he has not lost his touch.
No, it's been very exciting to see him in this tournament too. He went a little bit inactive for a while, has just started competing again for the past couple of months. His Lulu getting banned against him, unfortunately, but oh, that Sona game was such a treat. Some of those crescendos in Game 2 were so clean. They seemed like they caught everyone.
That's just kind of the magic that he's able to do with those magic fingers of his. But we actually have to reset Skype call here, Mr. Gandair. Do you want me to call you, or you call me?
Yeah, if you drop real quick, you can do that. Oh.
And easy as that. We're back.
Hello. Is it fixed now?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, talking about the bans really quickly. Zyra, Elise, Nidalee, Kassadin, Kha'Zix, and Lulu. Zyra has great zoning ability with her AoE, has a lot of crowd control as well. Elise, a very durable AP character with a stun. Nidalee, long-range poke that you have to walk through in order to get to her, gives some sustain to her team as well, and her traps give vision on the map. Kassadin and Kha'Zix, the 2 strongest assassins in the game mode, one for his mobility, one for his damage, and Lulu, a support with way too many abilities.
And yeah, Lulu, as he said, 3 for 3. Nobody wants to give that up to the Mad Zaporto. It's just too good. 100% win rate on a game that hinges this entire tournament? Yeah, not happening. Not today. Kha'Zix, however, though, I mean, you can still go ham with him. Kassadin with the effortless engages. Not really too much of a surprise to see him gone. But I am excited to see Half-Hearted finally on brand for this series.
It did get banned against him in the last game, and we'll be able to see him bring that out for this third game. Half-Hearted literally wrote the guide on brand. No, literally, you can go to lolpro.com/guides, and you could scroll down, and you can see Brand Build Guide Dominion by Half-Hearted. You can go there and learn how to play Brand similar to the way that Half-Hearted does. He can teach you how to be effective with that champion in Dominion, and you can find that guide on lolpro.com.
Yeah, LoLPro's really stepped up with their guides. I do remember back in the day, it's just like, man, we can't submit guides for Dominion. But, you know, LoLPro, they stepped up. You can get those out there. Looking at ourselves with a Janna, we have ourselves as well a Vayne. Vayne game number 1 was extremely effective up against the Wukong. And as we saw in last round, you know, that was able to flip around back into the favor of Clueless. So we'll have to see what they want to deal with this round. But I got to say, very effortless way to win by taking out that Yorick, boosting up that Nocturne to that game-saving status. So now, you know, what can they do up against this Vayne bottom?
Vayne, Vayne can do a couple of different things. If we see Vayne bottom again, which is possible, or we could see Vayne top played by BB Pop. I feel like Vayne the bottom lane is a lot easier to deal with than Vayne in the top lane because her ranges tend to be a little bit short. Although final hour with those 2 bushes down there can be very irritating to deal with if she decides to actually go for the kill because she can close it out pretty well. Vayne in the top lane, Vayne played by BB Pop. I mean, Vayne has always been sort of a diet caffeine-free version of Poppy because she has that stun in the wall. She loves terrain. She loves to play games with stealth in the jungle. She has a lot of mobility in fights similar to Poppy, but does not quite have the devastating amounts of durability that Poppy had, hence diet caffeine-free version. Vayne's a really good champion, and she doesn't care about how tanky you build. The tanky meta that's kind of always existed, you want to be durable, you want to delay, you want to have vision, you want to have mobility. Vayne doesn't care about the durable and the delay part because the true damage just ignores all of that.
But at the same time, you kind of need a good solid team behind you because a Vayne caught out is usually a dead Vayne, especially earlier on. It takes her a while to ramp up, so it's definitely not a for beginners kind of champion to pick up. Flip side though, Fizz, Cass. Now we were talking in the chat back in game number 1 how Cassiopeia should have gone bottom to deal with the Vayne instead of the Wukong. That could definitely be a possibility here, but Fizz, great burst damage, and again with his Shark or his Chum the Waters, he's able to, you know, potentially lock up 2, maybe possibly even 3 champions if he can get that right hook. And then of course with all that lockdown, I mean look, you got the Jarvan, you got the Leona on there as well. They could really set up for some nice skill shots in that regard, maybe even take the shot. But if that's going to be a Maokai, I mean, he has this tendency of keeping damage from killing his teammates.
On the subject of Fizz as well, if you are interested in learning how to play Fizz, LoLPro plays some Fizz as well, so does Carnival. RCIX plays some Fizz, and I did a video with them that you can find on youtube.com/VatoClan. Go there, search Dominion Breakdown number 5 Fizz, where we spend an hour and a half and break down every aspect of Fizz. Oh, my Skype lagged for a second, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll blink back on in just a moment here. In the meantime, I will continue talking about the picks. We're going to see Painkiller, highlighting Nasus, probably going to trade that over to Infeed. And I'm just going to go ahead and recall FourCourt. Give me a second, it freaked out. I know you guys all heard it. I'm sorry, it's so embarrassing. Let's see. There we go.
Sorry about that, sir.
I lost you for a second. I forgot where you put you. It didn't. Your GPS tracker battery's expired, man.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting ISP issue I'm dealing with, but essentially a micro fix and I'm back. So what I missed.
You missed me plugging the Dominion breakdown that I did about Fizz, where me and Carnival and Wolfer and a couple other players talked about Fizz in great detail for an hour and a half. And I was letting people know where they could find that on the VatoClan YouTube channel. We're seeing Infeed on Nasus this game. Infeed is one of the few top-level Nasus players that we have in Dominion. In fact, he's the only one that I've ever seen actually play it in competitive play. I think we had it once earlier on in this tournament as well. So we're seeing a lot of old favorites in this event. Let's go ahead and take a look at the summoner spells. We get to see Infeed on Nasus, and we get to see Painkiller on Leona. We're going to see V+Vayne, Half-Hard Brand, Zemike on Janna. So a lot of cool things like that will be happening in this. For these spells, we're seeing a Clairvoyance on Janna, and Clairvoyance is used against Vision because there are no wards in this game mode. So in order to have Vision, you either get Grez's Spectral Lantern, Hextech Sweeper, or you get the Vision from Janna, or if you play a champion like Zyra, Teemo, Nidalee, Maokai, or Caitlyn, they have a lot of abilities that can be used for scouting. Zyra and Maokai with the plants and saplings, and the others with their trap abilities. And without those, you need the items or the summoner spell in order to really have the vision. And we're seeing a flash on Vayne, and that's because if you are a ranged AD with only like a soft disengage or escape, not like a hard one, similar to the way Ezreal has his Arcane Shift to immediately disappear, if you have something like a backdash or a stealth, that flash can be really helpful. If you don't have an escape at all, such as in the case of Misfortune or Ashe, then that flash can be vital at times. So it's very, very helpful on champions like that. And you might be wondering why we see so much revive. Well, I made a little page with a very interesting font that I panicked and just didn't deselect because I didn't want to have to manually change it every box. Revive is the most popular spell in Dominion. You see 8 or more of them in over 87% of games, and teams that don't have Revive don't win very often against teams that do have it. It does a lot of very good things for you. It gives you extra health, it gives you extra movement speed, gets you back on the field faster, it helps you recover from bottom lane ganks. If you're a bottom laner, you can get back to your tower, and the only way to counter Revive is with another Revive, so it's a very powerful spell to have in this game mode.
Yeah, I remember way back in the day when we started it off, like, you know, it's been a long time since we've seen some of these top-level finals tier kind of teams not take any kind of revives. But something also to notice here is that with that flash on Vayne, sure, it's going to give her that hard escape, but there's a lot of thick walls on Dominion. A lot of times where that can actually become a fail flash. And looking at this lineup, I mean, that, again, is a really good lockup lineup coming out the way of Pays Evelynn Child Support there on the purple team. So Nasus with the Wither, that's the big thing I'm seeing later into the game. If Vayne somehow gets into that hyper carry status, she's gotten those kills, she has those items, and she has no cleanse for the first, half, 3/4 of the game, depending if she will pick up a QSS, that could be just huge with that Nasus pick.
Yeah, that's the one thing to worry about, because I feel like with Nasus in the bottom lane, if Nasus roams up to get involved in fights that happen around the center relics, the Storm Shields, if he comes up for that, then he will severely cripple Vayne. And I feel like he will be okay against, or rather, Nocturne will be okay against Nasus, because Nocturne does have that spell shield, so he can wait until the Spirit Fire lands, then hit the spell shield, and then he gets a few seconds where Wither is not on him, because Nasus will have to pop the spell shield with the Siphoning Strike, or waste the Wither in order to deliver the Siphoning Strike anyway, which Nocturne should be able to get escape, as long as he has the presence of mind to pocket it for the Wither to try and preempt that spell, because it's going to be very important that he does not get affected by that. We are at the loading screen for this Finals Game 3. Finals of the LoLPro Dominion Showdown. The winner of this tournament is going to take home, their team is going to win $250. That is some awesome amount of spending money. And if they wait until winter, that can buy them infinity games during the Steam sale. Let's go ahead and introduce these two teams really quickly. Clueless on the top half of the loading screen. Commander Peoples playing as Maokai. Mad Supportal playing as Janna. Half-Hearted playing as Brand. BB playing as Vayne. And Wolfer playing as Nocturne. I am one half of your commentators. I am Gandair. And commentating this Game 3 Finals is...
Surprise, FourCourtJester. But it's going to be in-feed bottom lane with that Nasus, and the rest of them kind of going more towards the top, the roaming. Cassiopeia being played out by Sailor Moonberry, Carnival with the Jarvan, Confitarius with the Fizz, and Painkiller Leona. So again, I want to say, Pays Evelynn Child Support has a really big lockdown comp. We're going to have to see, past level 6, what kind of combos they're going to be able to do with that. But again, Nasus with the Wither, maybe not so useful up against the Nocturne, but I think later into the game, it'll become absolutely huge when you really come to the crunch time. You need to get those points. points. You need to make sure you take home the cash, the money, the fame, and of course the bragging rights. Because this is a, again, very important win for Pays Evelynn Child Support. Not only is it the extra cash, but they have a 90% win-loss record that they have to maintain.
Yeah, they're one of the few teams to ever have one of those. At one point, a team that has since stopped being a team because some of their players don't play anymore. Point Defense once had a 92% win rate for a little while, and no other team has broken into the 90% percentile of win percentage. Point Defense was Sauron's team. Sauron, the highest Elo Dominion player that we've ever had. Sauron actually competes for Team Clueless now, but unfortunately he had to attend a wedding this weekend, so they did not get to bring Sauron into these games with them.
That would have definitely been a little bit of a reunion, because I definitely remember Zimike half-hearted back in the day. Still got a Parkhurst there on my friends list, every now and then, and just thinking, man, Dominion's come so far, and like a lot of these big names are still in there, still doing the Dominion scene proud. So right off the bat, a lot of items coming out. You can see, boots of speed, a lot of the prospectors, very typical first item stuff. Jarvan yet again going with the Grez. Same with Nasus. Nasus in the bottom lane, the Grez Lantern will go great with his passive because it stacks the lifesteal, gives him that armor, and he is going up against Wolfer, who, again, a physical AD. So hopefully Nasus will be able to just hold his own there. I feel if he gets caught, though, he doesn't have that innate escape mechanism. He's going to have a Wither, and then basically he just has to kind of leg it. And that didn't work out so well last round up against Wolfer because, up against Infeed, because he just caught again and again with that York.
Maybe Nasus will be a little bit better down there, because Nasus can use his ultimate to escape. That does give him a substantial amount of durability, more so if there are minions around him as well. And we will be looking out for that as the game goes on, because he does tend to be vulnerable to those kinds of ganks, as you mentioned. A little bit of poke going on back and forth at the top part of the map. Good pillar landing on Carnival. Carnival's health starting to get a little bit low. I'm kind of afraid for him, but maybe he'll be okay hanging out up at that top point. He does have his potions chugging away, increasing his health, and a Zenith Blade lands on BB Pop. Painkiller chasing him out from the fight, condemned away. The mix-up now, Carnival on the wrong side of the fight, taking a lot of damage, so Maokai the first one to fall. Carnival, that True Silver Bolt proc, that last one not going to land, unfortunately, and Carnival is going to be able to escape. But no, the flash over the wall! BB Pop kicks J4 off of the point, sends him back. He has User's Revive, and is en route to the windmill now, condemns Painkiller into the wall. Painkiller gets back caught up with a Zenith Blade, but now Commander Peoples is here and wants to zone the foes away from the point.
So BBBot going big right there, but now, at a half health, actually a little bit under, now has to deal with the revives that have come up. So Commander Peoples is back, basically everybody's back. Leona's just trailing behind a little bit. Half-Heart is going to try to put some points here on top of this note. It is 3/4 going the way of blue, as Moonberry just has to deal with that kind of damage. Does not work out whatsoever, but Vayne, the big story in this top lane, already has 2 of those kills, multiple assists, finally going to get shut down there by Confitarius, but she does have that revive ready to go in case she wants to use it. It does not look like she needs to, because the overwhelming team fight from not only the poke, but the positioning coming up from Bebop in this top has secured the windmill for Clueless, and now they got to deal with the other lanes.
Wolfer in the bottom lane, starting to get a lot of capture in on Infeed's tower, has just been chased away, almost managed to pick it up, but Infeed hasn't actually gotten any kills on his Siphoning Strike yet, according to the thing. He just only picked up 1 now, so a little bit behind on that, but he has plenty of game to continue to try and get some of those. It looks like he is opting for the Spirit Fire first, because in the bottom lane, Spirit Fire first on Nasus really enables you to get some pushing going.
Commander Peoples, the one actually caught out here in the mid, does have his Vengeful Maelstrom, actually just popped it up as well. Confiteria is dropping a little bit low. Mad Support is going to throw down the Monsoon. Good heal coming the way of Commander Peoples. Also kept Moonberry out of it, but I'm not too sure it's going to matter too much for Bebop. He is going to drop extremely low, but the double kill comes the way of Commander Peoples, and they're able to clean that one back up. So Pex still a little bit more on the back foot here on this early. They haven't been able to get their Crystal either, and the bottom lane is just kind of trading out. So with this 3-point advantage, we're going to stack a little bit of a lead coming the way of Clueless, and that was so close there for Peoples.
Yeah, Peoples barely able to get away. Oh dear, he might still be ended. No, Janna with the shield, that's probably what's going to save him in this engagement. That and the Sap Magic proc. Maokai so close to being dead in that engagement. The top point, however, neutraled by minions while that was going on, so Janna suddenly does not have a fallback point like she expected.
Yeah, and Painkiller's going to be able to finish off the tree finally. Point is now going to get contested here by Carnival. Got a little bit of on it, but the minions are going to push it the rest of the way. Probably about the 3/4. The engage off to the left. Carnival cannot stand up to this kind of poke. Just a lot of tornadoes, a lot of those silver bullets, as well as Half-Hearted. But Half-Hearted is going to drop. Vayne going home with another kill. Is going to try to tumble her way out of this one. It's not going to work out quite the way that she wanted. Nice Zenith there, picked up by Painkiller, but Fizz is saying, all right, well, the point is definitely more important. We're going to let her live for now. Painkiller just playing interference. Sailor Moonberry up here as well. And Nasus, again, he was able to push in this bottom lane, so Wolfer's not going to be part of anything really for a little bit. He's gone back home, and look at the armor coming out from Nasus straight away. It's going to be a Glacial Shroud.
And he absolutely doesn't want to deal with any of that, and he wants to limit Nocturne's attack speed as well. That'll be very helpful if they get into any mix-ups in this bottom portion of the map. You see him putting more ranks in Spirit Fire, only just now taking one in Siphoning Strike, because having the cooldown on that is very useful. And a gank down here on the bottom lane, going for infeed. Infeed trounced on that point. Everyone's showing up all of a sudden. Confidarius, though, found by BB Pop en route and waits it out, takes him out. BB Pop secures the kill and may be able to get away. We will see. That health relic, yes, he's going to be just fine. Looks like that was very close to him dying.
Bebop, however, picks up the triple. The rest of the team Clueless is here. They're going for Invid, who did use the revive to get back up to here. And again, like, very clutch plays coming out from Nocturne. Had that fear, kept Bebop alive. Now she's been part of all 4 kills in this bottom lane. It's not going to go the way for the point for Clueless, but they picked up quite a few kills, and the pressure's down here, and that's now bringing Confiteres and Sailor Moonberry. They're kind of cementing them down in this bottom lane, and that's what Half-Hearted really needs, because he's putting up the pressure top. He's going to have the minion wave, and he already put down the pain on top of Painkiller, but is Fizz going to be actually in position enough to get up here before this point caps?
I don't know if they're going to be able to or not. There's clairvoyance being thrown down in the center of the map so they can see if there's anyone waiting, which lets them know whether it's safe or not to try and go for the center relic. Bebop decides, no, I need to break off. I need to be somewhere else more importantly than getting this. Yes, moves up towards the top part of the map. Maokai hang down to the bottom to help Nocturne out with Fizz. Painkiller low on health near the top, and Fizz is going to Playful Trickster away. It looked like Twisted Advance lands on Infeed. They're really putting a lot of pressure on trying to get Infeed down as quickly as possible. Vayne with the final hour approaching the fight as well.
Yeah, and Vayne is just absolutely huge at this point. 10, 2, and 5. Nocturne going to be able to grab that kill on top of Infeed. So the push from Pex did not work out in terms of just the gamble here, but they were able to secure the top. Half-Hearted just did not deal with that kind of level of poke in the top, so they're going to be able to keep the 3 points right now. Painkiller still going 2-on-1 in this bottom lane. 3-on-1 with Wolfer in there. She's going to have to retreat. Carnival's going to show up as well. That's going to be the fight.
And Painkiller low on health, lands a Solar Flare to get some distance away from Wolfer. The Wolfer may still be able to connect. No, the Cataclysm keeps him away. Painkiller wanted to get in and deliver a stun, but could not. Carnival still managed to get out okay. Zenith Blade in to Commander Peoples, and no, why? The fighting inside of the Vengeful Maelstrom, that is a damaging ability. You have to remember that when you are playing against a Maokai. Any damage that you do, he can return to you when he pops that, and that was the end of Painkiller's Leona there.
That tornado actually not hitting Invid. He's going to pop the Fury of the Sands. That should be the kill here on top of Commander Peoples. Janna's now backing off. But while all that was happening, BB Pop in the top was able to actually take down Cassiopeia. And now, as you can see, a big creep wave in this top lane. Confiteria had to abandon the fight bottom, come up here. He's trying to defend it, but Half-Hearted is going to be laying down some extra damage. The Chum the Waters will hit BB Pop. Doesn't matter. Final hour down, but here comes Painkiller. He's going to try to contest this.
And Painkiller by himself for now. No, Moonberry finally catching up in the back, but Painkiller looking a little bit worse for wear on health, and Moonberry's a little bit too far away to contribute effectively. Only catches up at the very end there, but has to take a lot of damage from Brand in the process in order to pull that off. And Moonberry and Half-Hearted just dancing now. They're playing dodge the skill shot in the top part of the map, and the dot damage between them, Half-Hearted picks up the kill.
Yeah, just before that present would have actually given off an assist. Bottom lane, however, it did go the way of Clueless. As you saw, the Paranoia did go off. He used it just to pick off the Jarvan, keep him at bay. They were able to get the point, but it's going to go straight back to Pays Evelynn child support. But again, like, they're a little bit on the back foot. 50 points down. The game is hardly ever just called at this point, but we haven't really been able to keep a 3-cap consistently now for Pays Evelynn child support.
and Mad Supportal picks up the Storm Shield in the center of the map. Game's been pretty close so far. Clueless has been playing very well. They're showing the same sort of strength this game that they had in the previous one, but they haven't been playing their Nocturne as much, although they have been doing a very good job of punishing Nasus in the bottom lane. And if they could punish Nasus and create a gap in gold and items between Nasus and Nocturne, then they can afford to use Nocturne more up at the top part of the map because of that item gap, and send other people down there to babysit against Nasus, similar to what they did in Game 2.
Well, I'm looking at the scores. 4-1-5 versus the 1-4-0. Nasus, clearly looks like he's losing that lane. But if you look at the gold, it's actually not that different. Top lane, however, we still have a lot of pressure. We need to find a third point here for FaZe Evelynn child support, but they might get initiated here by Commander Peoples.
And Wolfer forced away from the bottom point. Confederatus coming down for a gank and chasing him away. They are going neutral that tower, which forces a massive response from the rest of Clueless. Janna going down for the Boneyard, which is going to draw someone's attention there. Looks like it's going to be Jarvan. And Confederatus having to Playful Trickster away. Wolfer wants this kill. Nope, Vayne's going to get it instead. So he's going to turn his attention towards Nasus and take out his aggression on him. And they condemn knocking him back. They're going to get their point once again. Brand coming down to help Janna with this point against Jarvan. And they're going to get a neutral on it. Supportal secures that. Half-Hearted with the shield is going to live a little bit longer. There's an exhaust on him, unfortunately. And now a Monsoon activated. Solar Flare does not connect with the stun, only for the slow. Confederatus gets taken out. And Leo doesn't really have a lot on this. She is forced to retreat. But the Clairvoyance reveals that they are back and shows them that they need to leave.
Yeah, Baby Pop is kind of in a bad situation now in this bottom lane, but that's alright. Kill secured. She's up to 15, 4, and 6. And while all this was going on, we actually had the cast in the top. She got the windmill, and it looks like she's got straight out kills there with Commander Peoples on top of that speed buff. But that means 3 points now secured for FaZe Evelynn child support. Hopefully this will be the beginning of their comeback, because they are now down closer to 60 points. And at this rate of the kills, we don't have an answer to Vayne. Vayne will eventually go down, but she's getting 2, 3, 4 kills every time she's back up, and FaZe Evelynn child support is just weakened that much more.
And Mad Supportal and crew up here at the top. Clueless wanting to engage on this point. Cassiopeia's a long way away, but Confederatus ganking the bottom once again. Uses his paranoia there. Up at the top, looks like Painkiller's getting low on health. Carnival slowed. BB Pop joining the fight at the top part of the map. Nocturne was defeated in the bottom lane, but he's using his revive to get back to that tower as quickly as possible. Top point has become neutral. In the bottom lane, Wolfer with the revive comes back and is able to put Fizz down, and the point is neutral. If Wolfer did not have that revive, this point would belong to FaZe Evelynn child support right now, but thankfully, because that summoner spell exists and is very useful in Dominion, he was able to use it to save that tower.
Leona over by the drill, just taking on Baby Pop, but we also have Janna here. We got Commander Peoples, the Vengeful Maelstrom already going off. They heal, still trying to keep them alive. It originally started off just trying to chase out the Cassiopeia, but it actually turned into Leona just making big plays, big defensive plays. It looks like they will be able to keep their point as Carnival almost grabs Maokai. He's just going to run for it. Revive now popped on top of Mad Supporto as they have now secured their bottom point here at the mine, but the top lane, again, that windmill, Sailor Moonberry on top of it.
And Painkiller making sure to sweep the area on the other side. Confederatus using the Airborne on Half-Hard. It's one crowd control after another on Brand, determined to shut him down, and they're able to do so convincingly.
Now, I've been looking at Mad Support. He's been throwing out a lot of poke, has 100 AP, but more importantly, does have that Hextech Sweeper. Pex is going to be able to take down that windmill. It's going to be in their favor for now. A little bit of fighting going off in the mid as well, but Mad Supportal, that AoE aura, that global movement speed is synergizing so well with the team. They're able to get from point A to point B just that much quicker, but more importantly, it's synergizing with Bebe Pop, who again is looking to claim a kill here on top of Carnival.
And it looks like he's going to do that just fine. The Solar Flare once again did not connect, and against Vayne, and Painkiller being chipped down, and is going to win a free trip back to the Summoner platform courtesy of Wolfer's Nocturne, and a double kill for Wolfer's Nocturne. It looks like they have sent Brand down in the bottom lane temporarily to babysit while Nocturne was away, and they're going to turn around this top point. Clueless still up in Nexus Health against longtime championship Dominion player FaZe Evelynn child support. Clueless wants to win this game.
Yeah, the point difference has shrunk a little bit. You can see Grez Lantern being popped there on top of Infeed, just making sure that he is going to be down here. Nocturne will resume into this bottom lane, but it's a very offensive Nocturne versus a not very offensive Nasus. And, you know, again, tanky DPS. All Infeed has to do is just live, because Confitarius is going to be down here once again. That's Chum the Waters, and out comes the Q burst from both of them. And again, Nocturne just not having his way, but Baby Pop's down here. Commander Peoples, again, the movement speed synergizing with that Phantom Dancer, with the Janna Global, is just making this team so mobile as we got some kills going down top.
And in the top lane, they were able to unseat Janna from the point, and in the bottom lane, they were able to defeat that push. They lost Nocturne in the exchange, unfortunately. But more importantly, they lost the top tower. That's a really unfortunate thing for them. They need to stay in control of that, because they can kill Nasus and Nocturne bottom lane all day long if they want to, but if they do not have control of the windmill or another tower, they are not draining points off the enemy's Nexus health. Pays Evelynn Child Support still playing from a little bit behind, only about a 50 Nexus health deficit right now. Twisted Advance on Painkiller. Ooh, Baby Pop sees what could happen to him and runs away. The tumble gets him out of range of the stun.
Yeah, and the final hour comes up. Another kill going the way. Condemn into the wall. Painkiller not looking so good. Again, we do got the Crystal buff on top of Baby Pop as well. Goes for the double. Going now for the triple. Again, Phantom Dancer and Jen. You cannot run away from this Vayne. You have to turn and fight, because you will not get away. Mad Support will make sure that doesn't happen. Maokai, make sure that doesn't happen. Hell, even stuns coming out of Brand, make sure that you can't run from this Vayne. And now she's 22, 5, and 9. She has all the armor penetration and damage that she kind of needs to finish this up, because she's just a machine gun.
Oh,
wow,
dear!
Infeed, did you see that Q?
I got that. That's insane. Infeed, he has banished the nightmares. You will never have a bad dream again.
I'm looking at his siphoning strike, you know, plus 193, 129 on top of that. Half-Hearted going to be down here, but he has to deal with this combo. Confitarius just kind of going big, but has to be worried about that tower, and yeah, we are going to grab the double from Half, but still, lots of armor on Nasus, not exactly the best counter to Half.
Yeah, Nocturne has been playing okay against Nasus, even as the game goes on. Earlier, he was doing very well against him, now not so much. If Nasus gets crits, Nocturne dies. It seems if Nasus isn't going to get crits, then Nocturne will be able to defeat him as long as his ultimate's not up. I've seen a bunch of close engagements between them in the bottom lane recently. It looks like they may be going for a gank down the bottom, or maybe a switch even. Looks like Nocturne heading up towards the upper part of the map now, and Confidarius Twisted Advance to him. Paranoia in on him as well. They're determined to shut Fizz down.
Yeah, and he is going to drop, already using that Playful Trickster. The Paranoia was easy bait, but Commander Peoples, again, locking people up. There goes the Sunlight. That will be the end of Wolfer, so not faring that much better out of lane. Carnival's going to drop, however, but double kill comes out for Sailor Moonberry as the poison is starting to really tick down. 228 plus that Blackfire Torch, and it's just, they're trying to just shut down Baby Pop. It's so hard with that Janna controlling, shielding, movement speed, double kill again, and 26-5 on this Vayne.
Oh, Confidarius didn't check the bushes! He didn't check the bushes. He could have shut down Baby Pop's Vayne if he had a way to get vision, or just even if he face-checked, he might have been able to pick up a kill really quickly, because Vayne in that engagement did not have her flash available. That would have been amazing, but he didn't look there. He instead went elsewhere on the map, but he was so close to being able to end her. Baby Pop's Vayne has been on an absolute tear for this entire game.
Yeah, the Confitarius is very close to getting caught out here. Nice Chum, will hit 3 of them, but it's still going to be a chase here from Clueless. We got the final hour pop there from Baby Pop, and they're just going to go straight to this point. They know ults are down. They know the hit points aren't there. Confitarius is going to get caught and immediately just tries to Playful Trickster out of it. Does not matter. The damage from Baby Pop is too much. Carnival was not useful here at all. He didn't have any hit points. Went down easily like a ton of bricks, and Half-Hearted picks up Leona, and this point is not looking good for Pex.
That's Portal. Oh dear. Could have gotten the kill against Cassiopeia if he had engaged just a moment earlier, as Mike knows that he's close to being dead. Oh, dodges! Dodges the Petrifying Gaze, and Wolfer's Nocturne comes up with Paranoia to send Cassiopeia back from where she came.
Yeah, easy kill, and again, like a little bit of global play coming in there. That's going to be the top point then for Clueless, putting them into almost a 4-cap situation. They're about to lose the bottom. Fizz again drops. Confiteria 6, 15, and 7. He's been picked on this entire game, and we also just got the quest now.
27 kills on BB+Vayne. It's outrageous. Confiteria is low on health in this engagement. The Vengeful Maelstrom doing a lot of work for their team. Wolfer here as well. Vayne not quite in the fight though. She's a little ways off. It looks like she's going to go down to defend the bottom point against Nasus, back capping that. And is she going to be able to pull that off? There's a lot of minions there, but she guns them down very easily. Those critical hits doing a lot of work for her. And Nasus retreating from Vayne. He does not want to deal with that at all. Just look at the chip damage. Oh dear, he's used the ultimate. Can he defeat BB Pop in a one-on-one?
It's going to come down to a Q, and it is going to be the Q, the crit Q at the end. The exhaust and the wither keeping him alive long enough. Infeed coming up huge right there. Got himself a 400 gold bounty on top of it, but that's okay because we have Clueless. They bought enough time. Nocturne's back down there, and Vayne, of course, with the revive, is going to find Confiteria down here, but she's going to get chunked down extremely low. I don't think Confiteria actually has enough to clean it up because the rest of the team is here. Scratch that. He will actually grab it, but that's okay because again, the rest of the team is here, but top lane as well. Pex took back the 3rd point. They're now going to be ticking down the Nexus health of Clueless. Infeed trying to do his best here. 2-on-1. Double kill in the top for Half-Hearted.
This has been a game of critical hits between Nocturne, Vayne, and Nasus all game long. It's been critical hit, one after another. You never know what's going to happen because you could get hit by a normal Q and live with a little bit, or you could get completely destroyed, like what's happened to Nocturne and Vayne a couple of times in this engagement. I feel like if it were not for that crit, Vayne might have been able to pull that fight off.
She might have been. But the bigger thing down here is that Half-Hearted in the top lane with Janna was able to get that point, and because of all this fighting bottom lane, I mean, that's where Pays Evelynn Child Support is. You can see all of them down here still trying to engage. They're putting all their last hope on this point, but I don't think it's going to be in the cards for them.
There is no one at Windmill. Cassiopeia can neutral that and prolong the game. She's heading straight there. I'm not entirely sure why Half-Hearted came back from the top. Nocturne currently does not have his Paranoia available, so he can't get there either. So they're going to have to march across for the Boneyard and take that point.
And it's looking really good for that. No revives up except Painkiller. He just used his, so he's the only defender. He's coming down. He wants to just delay tactic. It's not going to work. They lost the top, but they're going to get the bottom. GG's actually now getting called out because we have 5 points left on the board for Pex.
Clueless is going to be your champion. Clueless is going to be the victors. Clueless defeating Pays Evelynn Child Support to take the 1st place and that $250 prize.
You know, watching game number 1, I wouldn't have said that this was a team that could have taken down Pays Evelynn Child Support. But then game number 2, some really impressive stuff. And Baby Pop, 37 and 15 on Vayne. She had a phage by the end of it, going for a frozen heart, just so you cannot get away even harder from this team. But back at the picks and bans, I said Pays Evelynn Child Support, they got a great lockdown comp. I didn't ever really see the combos work, ever.
But hey, let's go ahead and give a little bit of credit to Wolf for that Nocturne in both games. Such a strong factor, making action happen all around the map again.
Oh man, you are absolutely right, Azaraki. That was... Man, this has been an amazing tournament. The finals, down 1 to come up 2 to win it. The consolation matches, that game 2 of the consolation for the 3rd and 4th place match was also insane. This has been an excellent tournament. I am very glad that LoLPro, Curse, Leaguepedia, and Reign of Gaming came together to put on this show.
Well, that was definitely a treat. I'll say that, Mr. Gandair. Thanks for bringing me here into the last game as a Rocky Dragon, making the big caster plays.
Hey, thank you very much for coming on for that last game, that game 3, man. It's very good to have you behind the mic of a Dominion event again. I know it's been a little while for you, but it was really nice to have you here. As a Rocky, it was really nice to be commentating with you. Clueless is your champion of the LoLPro Dominion Showdown. Down 1 in the first set to come up 2 to win the match against longtime power team Pays Evelynn Child Support.
Well, a well-deserved win at any rate. So, yeah, whatever you need to do to close out here, I'm going to sign off. It was great seeing the Dominate Dominion community
Whoa,
again.
hey, I just got an
LoLPro,
update that Curse Academy is actually going to play the tournament winners.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. That's what I'm reading.
You want me to stick around for that?
Azaraki, you want in on this?
No, I have to leave pretty soon,
Oh,
but you
no,
guys feel
okay.
free to do that.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much for coming and doing this event with me, man. It's been very nice to work with you.
Well, yeah, you know what? Anytime. Dominion has been so much more fun to cast than I thought it would be. Everyone here is once again so nice. Thank you all for having me for the first, for all of the games except for that last one you saw with Jester. I'm gonna have to leave you again, but leave you in good hands, I'd have to say. I love Jester as much as you guys do, so let's go ahead and see this next game.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. I'm going to talk to Asil about how to get this set up, about what the invite's going to be for that. So we're going to, I will have more info for you in just a moment.
So now the age-old question. Pros versus Dominion pros.
Oh man, this will be awesome.